Good evening. I don't have a lot to talk about this evening. I'm just gonna ramble a little bit, so it's gonna be writing related. But I'm super excited and I'm like really thrilled. This is a couple days after the fact and I'm still like this hyped. You should have seen me. I like couldn't even make a video because I was like bugging the crap out of my hubby. I'm like, ah! And I was just hyper as all hell. But as of Monday, Memorial Day in the United States of America, I finished my first draft of my third book. And I am just ecstatic. I don't have a better way of putting it, because for some reason to me, that's when this felt like a real thing that I was like actually writing as a hobby. Because for some reason to me, it felt like first book could have been a fluke. Like I could have just randomly managed to like get through that hurdle. Second book could have been like luck or me like riding on the coattails of my success from the first one. Although in all honesty, my second one was significantly better than my first draft of my first book by a lot. I had learned a lot between those two. Mainly one of the big things is how to use commas correctly, but anyway. Also story structure, I had looked a lot into that. Now I've done my third one. I'm gonna be honest, I am super happy that I've done my third one now. And although it's not over 50,000 words, which is what's technically, I guess, considered a novel, it's at like 41,634 words. I know that once I add the chapters that I know I'm going to need to add, it will be up over 50,000. It's really more of a prequel to the second book that I had written ever. I'm so happy. You have no idea how, well, maybe you do. Maybe you finished drafts or hit a particular goal that you have where you feel like that's the goal you've been reaching for a really long time. The reason why I'm so excited about this, and I think I've mentioned this in past videos, is that I have a habit of picking up basically hobbies. I get really, really invested in them for a short period of time, like a max is 6 months, maybe a year. And then I tend to drop them completely. And I just kind of lose interest. They get to a point where, because of the skill level I've gotten to, they require additional investment in order to move forward. And I don't usually have the capital to be able to do that. And then I tend to drop them. Now with writing, until I'm publishing something, that isn't really an issue. So I kind of set myself a goal where once I got to 3, because for some reason I love things in like groups of 3, 5, and then upwards. I like odd numbers. I'm weird. But it's because they make pyramids, and they're more structurally sound than creative brain. We're gonna call it that. We're gonna call it that, even though my favorite subjects in high school was always like math and physics. But creative brain, we're gonna blame that for my love of specific types of numbers. But 3 was like the magic number for me, where I had always told myself if I get to 3, then I feel like a writer at that point. And I'm just so excited that I did it. I'm especially excited, and this is gonna sound weird, because I did not enjoy drafting this book. I did not like it. Like there were little bits, like little Hershey's Kisses of like happiness throughout the book, but it was a relatively dark book. It was relatively depressing. There was a lot of people dying. It was set in a hospital with the main character is a doctor who's going through a lot of issues. Like his daughter died either a month or several months earlier. I haven't quite decided on the timeline because I have to like fit that with his particular frame of mind that he's in. He's having problems with his marriage. He's worried it's gonna fall apart because of this, because his wife is coping a lot better. She's seeking help through her church and through religious groups and stuff, and he isn't doing that because he kind of just doesn't believe it, and he's just kind of burying himself in work. And it's just a lot darker than either of the two books I had written before it. The tone is very different. The character's mindset is very different. And it wasn't very enjoyable to be in this character's mind as I was writing it. As I was reading it, it was fine. But I'm going to be adding other perspectives to this book, which will help, because then it won't be quite as dark. It'll like kind of even it out. Kind of like adding ranch dressing to some sort of spicy dressing you have to make like a medium dress. Anyway, that only came up because I heard people talking about that at work today. But I told you this was going to be a rant. I told you. But I'm just so excited because now maybe you understand that like excitement that you get when you finish a draft, because maybe you've done that too and you've been reading stuff. But if you haven't, like seriously, keep it in mind that this is how you're going to feel when you get to the end of a draft. It is amazing, especially when you think about how many people try to write like a full-length novel draft, or say they're going to write it, but they never even start, and you actually did it. Now, I've done that 3 times now. My total word count between the 3 books plus like a very short story that I've done, which might turn into a novel, because honestly, the world building was just like coming to me like crazy for that short story, and it sounds like a fantastic epic fantasy. Never thought I'd do epic fantasy, but that short story was just like, whoa, I like loved it. I might read that in a video shortly here and use that as an example of doing line editing. I might line edit as I read through it so that you can kind of see how that works and how you might be able to catch things by reading it out loud. I just think that would be a good example of how you could do that. Anyway, again, this is a rant. But I'm just so excited, and you should have seen me the other day because it's been 2 days since that, and I'm still just like on the high here. Now, I'd be much happier if, because in my previous video I might have mentioned that I was coming to work at home, and that was supposed to be like my last day before work at home. Yeah, that didn't happen. I guess they had to do some update to our stuff, and I'm not going home till possibly tomorrow, most likely not, probably Friday. So at least, I mean, I can't complain. I'm going home. Like, I'm gonna get literally like 2+ hours extra in every day that I'm not having to work. So I can't really complain. That's like wonderful. I'm not gonna be a pain in the butt about that. And my company is awesome. I'm not gonna mention what company it is, but in case you like look at my social media and know what it is or something, I just wanna say my company is awesome. They're fantastic. I love them to pieces. They spoiled me rotten, as I've said in many other videos. They're fantastic to me. I love working for this company, and I don't ever want to leave. And I would be very sad if I ever did have to. But again, super hyper. Anyway, I'm in this video real quick. If you listen through this, I truly appreciate it. There was like no actual helpful content in this for you, unless you find it motivating to see somebody else be happy, which I frequently do. So other than that, I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys have a great evening, and I will talk to you later. The next video, I may be doing a reading of my short story that I plan on submitting to a writing contest. We'll see, and maybe you can help me with editing it in the comments. I think that would be fun. Anyway, you guys have a great evening, and I will talk to you later. Bye.